Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Car Boot Crafter, and welcome to my Countdown to Christmas series. It's a series of Christmas projects to get you ready for the festive season, and today we're making Christmas crackers, and these are going to go on my Christmas table. I've already got a little gift plan for each of them, so let me show you how I've made them. Let's pop them to one side out the way and bring in the base card. So if you're in the UK, you'll have seen this pack of cards in Poundland, which like I say, it's £1 for I think it's about 30 or 40 pieces of quite thin cards. It's not very thick, but because we're using it for crackers, which we're going to pull and dispose of, I thought it'd be just perfect. So I've chosen, this is like a mint green colour, and I'm just going to bring in my hoogie board. Now with this paper, I've got a really smooth side which I want on the outside of my card, and then we've got like a matte on the other side. So with my matte side facing up, I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and I'm going to score this at 2 and at 4. Nice and simple, 2 and 4 all the way down. Then I'm going to flip it over to the smooth side up, and I'm going to score it at 3. And that's just going to help me with my mounting and valleys, which I'm going to do in a minute. Once I'm done that, I'm going to flip it back over to its matte side. So there's my scores. This is the matte side, and I'm going to turn it all the way around so that I've got my score lines on this side. And then I'm going to score again at 2 and at 4, flip it over onto the smooth side and score at 3. Okay, and that's all our scoring done. So I'm just going to move that out the way, and this is nice and easy. You can use it on any size card that you want to, because that's the measurements, that's it. We're done with our measuring and our folding. Now I'm going to fold and burnish my score lines. So this one, my 3-inch line, this is the smooth side up. So I'm going to fold that up like that. So we've got a valley fold there. And then my other score lines, I'm going to fold them back so that we've got a mountain, a valley, and then a mountain fold. And that's where we're going to, this is how we're going to form our handles for our crackers, that iconic shape that we have. So we've got that happening there. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same at this end with these 3 score lines. So with the shiny face up, I'm going to fold on that middle one, fold it up like that, then fold down on the next one, which was our 2-inch fold, and then fold up again like that. So we have our V shapes on both ends, and you don't have to be exact. That one's slightly higher than that one, not too fussed about it, but there we have it. So this is the inside of my cracker again. So we have our folds like that, and then I'm going to work on this score line here. So I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to cut from the score line up to my first crease line. So I'm going to put a pen mark in there so you can see where that crease line is. And all I'm going to do is bring in my scissors, and I'm going to cut a number of V shapes into it, up and down, and this creates the kind of almost iconic look of the cracker that we have here in the UK. I'm going to go all the way along. Now what you're going to do when you are cutting these is this is the crease line here. So when I open it out, we're going to make sure that when we are doing our V's, that we're leaving a small piece there to hold the pieces together, because if I was too close, then the handle would fall off the rest of the cracker. So this is about 1/4 of an inch, but there's no need to be exact at all. I often do this when I do the table crackers, sit in front of the telly, do all my scoring, and then bring down all the crackers and sit in front of the telly with a tray on my lap and do all of the cutting like this, just while I'm watching TV, because you don't have to think too hard about doing it. So keep going till you get to the end. So I'll take all those bits out when I reach the end. And what I aim to do is, so I start at this end at an angle, and I'm aiming to do the same at this end. So I'm going to keep going until I get to the end. And what you don't want to do is make these too wide. So the crackers or the V's, you don't want them too wide, because that can then cause problems later on. You especially don't want these bits where it's joining, because we want a nice flexible cracker. So that's the one end we've done, and we've created that shape. So we're just going to turn it round and do exactly the same on this crease mark. So I'm just going to pinch it, fold that piece up, and again I'll put the line in so that you can see it, because I know the lighting in my craft room isn't brilliant. And then again, so again starting with the one up, so you've got that half V there, and then keep going all the way to the end. So I hope by now you're all ready for Christmas, or nearly ready for Christmas, just doing the last few bits. Like I say, this week is cracker week, so this week I'm concentrating on making the crackers for the table. So I've done the gift box crackers, which go on the table with a little last minute gift for everyone, or Christmas Christmas dinner gift. And then the crackers will have some sweet treats in them, as well as the well, I'm going to see if I can make some crowns. Not sure how that's going to turn out, but I'm going to give it a go. I don't think I'm going to do a video on it though, but we'll see. So keep going till you get to the end. Oh, I did want to mention, I am still on my road to 500. So if you haven't seen my haul and challenge video, which I did just over a week ago, I think it was, then do go and check it out. I picked up some really nice things at the Papercraft show at the Motorcycle Museum, and I picked up some extra bits, a couple of dies and a travel journal, which I'm going to give away. And all you need to do is to share my channel, one of my videos, or do me a VR, and then come back to that video and let me know that that's what you've done. And then I'll enter you in to the prize draw, which will be drawn on the 31st of December. So if you're watching my video before the 31st of December 2021, then please do think about subscribing and joining in with the challenge. Okay, so once we've got to that stage, so I've got all my crack, and what will happen is when you bring it round, you end up with the classic cracker shape like that. But before we do that, I'm flipping it over onto my smooth side, and I'm going to start decorating. So to decorate your cracker, you'll need a piece of decorative paper. Now these all come from the, let me bring it in and show you. These all come from the Dovecraft Christmas Blues pack, which I've had a couple of years, but I just thought that this paper went very well because of that. The mint green there went very well with that one there. So you need one piece of decorative paper, which is 3.5 by 8 1/4, and you need two pieces that are 1.5 by 8 3/4. You could go up and up to 1 3/4 width, which I think I've done on that one. Yeah, so this is 1 3/4 if you want a slightly wider pattern on there, but these are 1.5, just because I was trying to save a little bit of paper and thought that 1 3/4 was quite big. But there we go. So all I'm going to do is put some glue on. Now I have already put a little decorative strip of papers on these bits that are going to go on the, I want to call it the handle, but I think that just doesn't seem quite the right thing to call it. It's where you grab your cracker to pull. So that's one side. So I've added I think that's 3/4 inch on there, just an extra bit of decorative paper on there. Don't have to. In fact, this cracker, you could, and I have in the past done these, just using some fancy papers and then not putting any matting and layer on at all. So it's entirely up to you. I'm matting and layering on this one, but you don't have to. If you've got some nice papers, or in fact I could have used this paper and cut it down to A4 size, or even done it in the 12 by 12 size and use the same measurements, the 2, 3 and 4 inch to make a cracker. That would have been a much bigger cracker I would have ended up with if you'd used 12 by 12, or I could have cut it down to an A4 size piece of card and used it that way. That's a little bit off kilter. There we go. Okay, so that's our patterned paper on, and this also reinforces the cracker. Having these extra layers on reinforces it there, but of course we're not worried about reinforcing down here, because this is where our cracker is going to give when we pull it at Christmas. So folding it back over, I am now going to see if I can find my red liner tape, which I can. And I'm using the very thin one just because I want a nice big cracker, and I'm just going to put it right on the edge on this end. So I'm going up to that first crease mark, and then I'm going to cut the liner tape, and then I'm going to do exactly the same here. So I'm just going between those two crease marks there with my liner tape, just to hold the cracker together, give it that circular tube shape. And then again on this end, again going from that crease mark to the end, and I can just see that my pattern paper has gone over ever so slightly. Oh, that's just pulled. Let me just cut that off and get rid of that and try again. So I'm just going on the edge, but I have noticed that my patterned paper has gone over ever so slightly. It doesn't matter so much on these ones because these will be tucked inside your cracker, but if you have any hanging over on this side, like I have a little bit there, I'm just going to cut that off. It just neatens it up just ever such a little bit. It just neatens it up so that when you put your cracker together, it looks a little bit more finished. I'm going to grab my bigger scissors for this piece. There we go, and no, that one's fine. So let's get rid of those out the way, and then bring in my pokey tool. I still haven't found my original pokey tool, I have to say. Don't know where it's gone, don't know what's happened to it. I'm just hoping that it hasn't gone in the bin, but luckily enough, I think that was only £1 at the paper craft show the other day, so it was nice and easy to replace. I'm bringing in, this is a bottle of water that I keep in the craft room. I'm bringing this in so that I can wrap my cracker around. It just helps me to line things up and gives me less to worry about. Also gives some resistance when I stick these together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that crease mark with that crease mark. So when I bring it together, let me just show you, when I do bring it together, as I'm lining it up, that's what I'm looking for, is that those two crease marks join up. So let me put the bottle back in and roll it around like that, and bring this one up and make sure that there's just visual things, visual guides for you to help with measuring, rather than having to I'm just concentrating there for a second while I line things up. Just helps you to kind of match things up, to use visual guides. Now before that pops again, I'm just going to grab my bone folder and push it in inside the cracker and push that against my liner tape there, because I don't want it to pull on there. There we go. So, and then I'm going to do the same here. Don't need the bottle for this one because this is stuck down, so it's helping to hold that shape for me. So just going to take the liner tape off, and this time my visual reference will be the two edges. So this edge here and this edge here, I'm going to line them up and make sure that they come together like that. And this time I can just push my fingers inside and make sure that I'm running my fingers along the edge and getting a good seal on that on the card there. So we've got two good seals going on there, and then bring this one around and do exactly the same. And again, using the edge of the card as my visual reference to line everything up. There we go. And again, using my fingers to join that together. And then you've got, it starts to want to go into that iconic cracker shape like that. Okay, so almost there. Let's put my bottle to one side out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab some baker's twine, and we don't need an awful lot. And what I'm going to do is, I'm only going to do one end because obviously I want to fill my cracker. So I'm just going to take my baker's twine, only a little bit, but enough for me to be able to tie a knot. So you're going to put your baker's twine around and then just very gentle pull it together. And when you start to feel resistance, and that's usually because the gaps have closed, that's where you stop. And then just a simple box knot in the baker's twine, and that will just hold it closed like that. And then cut off very carefully. You don't want to cut the card or your cracker very carefully cut the excess away. And I'll do the same this end once I've filled it. Then I'm going to bring in some ribbon. So this is the Poundland Christmas Moments ribbon, which I picked up loads was it last year, the year before, when they were selling it off. I think they were like 50p a pack or 25p at the end, if they still had any left. I know some stores had already sold out of them at 50p. So yeah, so the only thing that annoys me is every time you let go, you've still got those fold marks in. I am thinking that maybe I'll open them all and just hang them up on a clothes hanger, you know, one of the ones with the bar across, just so that the creases fall out of the ribbon. So when I come to use it, I'm not getting annoyed because I've got all these folds to contend with. Anyway, so making sure that my join is at the back, I've cut this in half, the ribbon in half, and I'm just going to bring it round and fold a bow on the front. Now the thing with this is, because I've used the baker's twine, I don't have to try and juggle tying my ribbon with trying to hold the cracker together. So there we go. So that's one end of my ribbon done. I'm not going to close this end because I want to fill it, but I am going to put on a little decoration. Now the papers, that paper pack has a really nice, couple of really nice pages. So you've got this one with the Christmas boot on, and you've got that one with the stylized Christmas tree on, and all I've done is cut one out and then I've decoupaged it. So I've got 3 layers, so another boot that I've cut out, and then I've cut out the trim at the top, and all I'm going to do is run a line of glue down the middle like that, and making sure I've got the front, just going to glue it on like that, bring it down a little bit, and that makes my cracker. And then when I filled it up with, oh hello, that's not grabbed very well, so when I filled that up in that end with goodies and treats and some sweets and things, along with a hat and a joke or two, which I'll have a look on the internet and print them off. When I've done that, I'm going to close up this end exactly the same as I've done that end. So put my ribbon to one side so I don't lose it, and bring in the other crackers that I've already done ready for my Christmas table on December the 25th. So I hope you like my crackers. I really enjoy making these every year, and because I'm only using a very simple A4 piece of card, it just makes life so much easier. And I know that when we pull them on Christmas Day, when I pull that, this will all give, because it's thinner card, it'll all give. Nothing worse than somebody going, I can't pull my cracker, can't get my hat on Christmas Day. Okay guys, well I really do hope you enjoyed that video. Do think about subscribing to my channel. I'd love you to join. And if you want to enter my challenge, remember you must be a subscriber, you must be UK, and you must be over 18. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.